All right, so we got this giant mess. It's uh it's pretty crazy. It's hard to work with, and I don't know if you've ever welded on wood, but I've got this nice strip of metal right here that kind of makes it easy, sort of, but it's not ideal because you got little BBs that are making smoke and kind of don't want to leave it, sitting here smoldering while I go inside for the night. But I think maybe my first project instead of metal art is going to be building a welding table. And I've got a bunch of stuff laying out in the back, like scrap wise, that I can use to do one fairly cheap. Now I've got a pretty decent setup here. I've got this, table here, which is not ideal, and lots of just junk scraps. But I've got a welder. I've got this metal table here that's pretty decent with the vise and whatnot, but I don't really want to use it that close to my walls where there is open insulation, and I don't have casters on that table right now, so I don't really want to use it either. It's kind of hard to move around, pretty heavy, and like I said, I've got this other junk that I can get outside and build a pretty nice table that's metal that I can use to make some decent metal art. Well, in true Midnight Mike fashion, it's pretty dark out, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm going to use this portion of expanded metal and angle iron for the bottom of my table and possibly a support for the tabletop itself. By cutting this in half, I should have a decent size to work with. That's, I think, about 4 by 8, but I could be wrong. But yeah, you see, I've got tons of junk laying around, lots of metal stuff that I can probably break up and use for different projects. So that's kind of the base that I'm going to start with. And I've got some pretty decent chunks of angle iron that I'm going to use for legs. So that'll get me started. And I might be able to do this with stuff that I have laying on hand. So that's kind of the idea. We got that base there, and that'll be pretty cool. I'll take you over and show you some other stuff that I have. The legs that I was talking about are over this way. Man, my shop is coming along, but it's pretty messy, and there's lots of junk. And I'm trying to sell stuff and get rid of things, but a little bit at a time. So anyway, here, let me show you this. So at one time, this was like a sprinkler base or something for a guy that used to live here, and I'm going to use that for the base of, or the legs of my table. I'm going to just go ahead and cut, this angle, these angles off, and then I'll have 4 really sturdy legs. I think it's like 1/4 inch plate, well, 1/4 inch angle, and that should be pretty good. So that'll be sturdy enough, hopefully, for what I'm hoping to do, and at least it'll be metal and not, a chunk of OSB that's just sitting there smoldering. So anyway, I think this is going to be the first project for maybe the first series of Midnight Mike's Backyard Shop. Let's get some of this crap out of the way, I guess. And hopefully I can pull that big chunk of expanded metal with the angle iron in here and get it cut apart. We'll just have to see. I'm real sorry about this giant mess. I've been cleaning quite a bit, but it's still got a ways to go. I've been putting insulation in, and I think I'll leave this here, actually. Maybe pull this out of the way. So we'll get that expanded metal in here. know about you guys, but I am not getting younger. And that's all right, because I guess that's the way it is. All right. I probably ought to get another one of those stands underneath this so it doesn't just and then fall on the ground and break a bunch of crap. That'd be smart. I've been accused of a lot of things. Intelligent, that doesn't happen very often. We got 102 inches here, almost 101 and 3/4, but I'm just going to say 102 so I can cut it in the middle, and that's going to be 51. See if I can find a pin that will show up. So I'll mark 51 in the center, and I'll come to the side, and I'll put a 51 here, and then I'll put another 51 right there so I can lay a straight edge on it and get to grinding. Better grab my eyes. Where did I put them? That's a great question. Put some gloves on. Not that one. Ripped. There they are. All right. Grab a straight edge. Wow, these glasses suck. I should probably invest in some new ones. If they keep my eyeballs intact, then that's all that matters, because I can kind of see out of them. This straight edge is way too long. That one's going to be too long. This looks like a nice factory straightish edge. Is it too long? Oh, you dog. Just a little bit. Okay. That's going to be too long. I don't have, there's one. All right. Square for the win. Flip her over. That's pretty good. I guess I probably could have just followed the center of that. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be close-ish, so that'll work. All right. Here goes the death wheel. I can rotate that. I don't know. Well, I'm not catching shit on fire. Fire check. Don't see no fire. I am putting it right at some small engines with gasoline out there. I should probably quit doing that. All right. Missed some mark on that one. There we go. Come back over there. We're so close. I can't see very well. Well, heck. Thank you. Oh, come on. There we go. 2 pieces. Okay. Man, that is welded pretty solid right there. I might leave that. Maybe I should just cut it right there. If I would have looked, I probably would have decided to do that. Had a nice little table that would be, you know, well, here, let's go from this side. 35 and a half. So almost 3 by 35. So it would be about 35 by 35. Gosh, what's this going to be? 52, 51 by 35. I think I'll leave that. And I'm going to put a chunk of flat. I might have enough angle iron to put along that edge. I thought I'd use this, but I'm not gonna. There's a chunk of flat there. Well, okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get started on cutting this. I've decided I'm going to cut this angle off here, and I'm going to move it out to this edge so I have a pretty good length, you know, and well, I guess it's going to end up looking a lot better, being more of a rectangle than just a square, and I think it might be pretty sturdy that way. So I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to move it over here, and then I can fit more stuff. Like I'll probably put my bench vise on the top eventually, and I think that'll be pretty helpful. So I got to cut this one, and then I'm going to do the pretty much the same thing and make a mirror image of that, because that's going to end up being the tabletop. I'm going to lay a piece of flat on top of that instead of just having this expanded metal. So that should be pretty good. Let's get started. I hope this thing doesn't blow up on me now, because we got a lot to cut. I'm going to burn up the brushes. What's it looking like? Wow, haven't really gone very far. Here we go. Come on now. Come on there, buddy. Maybe I should get my Sawzall out. That's kind of going. Hey, come on now. Got a couple tacks here I'm going to attack. Oh, I got some gasoline over there. I should probably be careful. Maybe move that. Oh, I'm throwing sparks all the way back there. All right. I don't like that bit. Gas can. That's dumb. What a mess. Gotta get this dot taken care of. Well, not going that way. I want to get on my car. Uh-oh. About as deep as I can go on that side. Man, I'm close. All right. I think I might be able to pound that off with a hammer now. I don't know, though. It might not go yet. There's still some pretty chunky welds in that. I'm pretty sure that's not going to go. Ooh, and I can't get this grinder in there either. Huh. Well, I suppose I'll have to find my Sawzall. Sawzall. Or I suppose I could use a handsaw too. All right, I found my Sawzall. Let's get this bad boy going. I'm just kidding. We're just going to do some more death wheel stuff. I can't find my Sawzall blades. I'm pretty sure they're in my house. Projects, you know, guys. Your wife's got them too, maybe? One of these days we'll get them done. It's not quite in there. Ah, we're close. So close. All right. Man, I hope I'm not ruining anything back there. Got some good old hot rod magazines. You know, just in case. I just want to do this the wrong way now. Like I shifted gears. Come on, baby. All right, let's try this other side. Maybe I can get it enough to come loose. Hey now. Don't like that. Yeah, so I'm using a Harbor Freight grinder, and at work I've got a lot nicer tools that have like controllable triggers, and I'm just not used to trying to do stuff with the Harbor Freight junk. But you know what? We're going to make it happen because I want to do all this stuff on a budget. And this is like the cheapest of the cheap Chicago Electric power tools. And there's nothing wrong with it other than it's like all go, and then if you take the trigger off, it stops. If there's no, you can't throttle it, and that's okay. I'm just not used to it, but that's okay. I'm gonna figure it out here. We're close. And this is like a backyard shop, so does it really have to be perfect? No, not at all. We're just having fun with it. Until we're not. So let's see what we can do. You know, when it bounces, that means you're close. Probably not. Close to it exploding in your face. We'll see. I got a little pry bar over here. Whew. We'll see what we can do. Hopefully it pops loose. I have my doubts. Looks like I got some more weld right there. I'm going to hammer on it. Wish I had an air hammer here. I'd just pop it loose with an air hammer. Hey, that side's loose. Cool, maybe I can get her rocking. Moving just a little bit. That side still needs some work. If I can rock this side loose, I might be able to pop that side loose too. Do a little friction dance. Yowza! I ought to put a block of wood under the pry bar, maybe get a little bit more bite. It's moving. There it goes. Cool. I didn't get those tacks all the way loose, it looks like. By golly. I'm going to win, though. I don't know about you guys, but I like winning. Anybody else like winning? I like winning. All right. Now I can put a little pressure on there. I can hit those tacks again. goes. All right. I'm going to try to do some work with this guy. I don't know if I've got enough cut. It is bending. Oh my gosh, guys. I used this chunk of stuff to try to level out my driveway, and it is dropping little chunks of gravel all over the place. And just so you know, it didn't work worth a darn. It basically just piled up on me and got really heavy because I had, I don't know, a few 100 pounds of gravel sitting on top of it. It was kind of foolish, and I had to make something else to drag my driveway with. But the second iteration worked a lot better. All right, come on now. It's like pulling a tooth. Anybody out there with kids in grade school, you know the fun of having teeth getting pulled. And I mean not pulled, but like when they fall out. I've got a 6-year-old that's just been wiggling like crazy. She's wiggling her teeth. So excited when they fall out and the tooth fairy gets to, bring her some money. That's kind of nice. All right, I'm going to shove that back down maybe. Throw a vice grip on it. And I'm going to do some more grinding because that ain't working. I don't think this vice grip's going to cut it. There we go. All right. Ears. Gotta wear the ears. I already can't hear. Boy, I hope there's enough meat on the bone on this thing. Making it a little bit short. But that's okay. I got a welder. I'll put a coat hanger in it and widen it out a bit. Come on, come on. Gosh, we're close. I wonder, will you pop loose for me now? Just real quick. Oh, it's so close. You can see the gravel flying off of it. I don't know about you guys. Do you have as much fun in your life as I do? Because, wow, that's funny. There was so much just tiny gravel that would be awesome in my driveway. But that's okay. I'll sweep it up maybe and not do anything with it. Throw it out back here. Woohoo! Got it. That's pretty cool. So, my thoughts are I can put it right here. Maybe I'll put it like that. How did they cut it nice? Does that mean I'm going to have to cut it nice? Dang it. Yep. That's too bad. I like not nice. But I suppose I can cut it nice. Make a couple marks. Hey, I think that's going to just work. I'll be able to fill that gap. All right. Look at this gravel. All right. Whew. Okay. Do some marks. Make some more cuts. And that should be that'll be okay on that one. I'm using my eyeball here to, do precision fabrication work. That's definitely gonna be great right there. Oh yeah. I think I'll clamp it to my new welding table so I can make my cuts. Man, this is exciting stuff. Look at this great opportunity. You can never have too many vice grips. I don't know if you knew that. Man, in the collision world, I use them on all kinds of stuff all the time. Putting panels on cars, man, they're helpful. I got a whole big drawer full of them, and every time the tool truck comes around with the sale, you know, good sale for 10 of them or something, stock up. They are worth it. Back to the death wheel. Here goes. Safety squint. Nope, can't do that. This new table's just almost perfect. Except for how it's not. This ought to work better. Nope, not really. Come on now. See, look, we're just doing all kinds of silly stuff with vice grips. That'll hold it tight enough. Don't you dare throw sparks at my car. All right, that's a pretty good line. Now I can flip it so I can actually get to it. All right. Whoa. Oh, man down. Well, come on. It's kind of hard to clampolate something. Here we go. We'll try a non-clampage. Just a thumb. Not two of them. Now, why are you trying to climb on me, you monkey? All right. This might sort of work. Yeah, there we go. Why didn't I do that to begin with? That might work better. All right. Yeah, not a fan of that. Oh, come on now. That's all right. Maybe if I wasn't using baby vice grips. But that's okay. We're getting there. We're gaining. This'll be a little bit better probably. All right. Oh yeah. Oh man. Hey there. So, I'm going to have a pretty good chunk of stuff for my scrap bin right here. Cool. Nice little 1/4 inch chunk. Put that there. Kind of along the same lines, grind away from important stuff. And by important, I mean flammable. Probably not so important, but flammable. Here we go. And she's down. Let's see what we got. Hopefully something good. Hey, not bad. What do I need to cut? Where am I hitting? Teetering on something. I can make that work, man. Pretty good. Where am I hitting? It's like right there. You're going down. And by down, I mean off. I can still see my Sharpie line. I really missed that guy. That's all right. Hey, that is good enough. Cool. I'll bring you over and show you. Maybe I'll put a clamp on. No, I'll bring you over and show you. All right. I got these cut so I can take and put this underneath, and it fits pretty good right there. Not perfect, but you know what? I got a welder and I'm going to weld on it. And then this side, it fits pretty good too. It's good enough. And then I kept making comments about all this gravel. I mean, that was underneath that, and it kept falling out. I thought that was pretty comical. So I'm going to do the same thing eventually on this piece, and I think I'll probably work on the base for right now though, but I'm going to cut this chunk off, right here, just like what we did. And I don't know that I'm going to record that because it was just a whole bunch of grinding, sparks, and nonsense. And I don't know that that's actually good content. So if you can, maybe let me know what you think on that in the comment section. And while I'm thinking about it, all those fancy YouTubers are always saying like and subscribe. If you could do that, that would be awesome. So I've got this laid out. I can get some sparks going on that. I think I might clean it up a little bit with a flat disc and get it kind of clamped in place. And I'll bring you guys back in for the welding process. A little more death wheel action. Gonna do some grinding, some shaping. Should be fun. Oh yeah. All right. I might not even want to use a flap disc on this. I think I'm just going to give her the onions on this guy. And that'll be good enough. Oh, yes. This is going to be sweet. Always wanted a welding table. And this was just stuff that got left over. Just stuff that somebody had for a different purpose. And man, I'm a big fan of repurposing things if I can. I don't know about you, but I really, really enjoy repurposed stuff. I hate the throwaway culture of today. I mean, I like culture and all, but I actually, do I? I don't know. Got to hit these real quick. All right. That should be pretty good. Hey, man, that is a big gap on that one. And that's a little welder I have here, but that's okay. I think I can make it work. Remember when I joked about using a coat hanger? I don't know that I'm going to be joking. I think I might actually do that. I might actually go for that. That's pretty decent-ish. That's going to work. Throw that one in tight if I can. I'm going to get a different pair of vice grips. I'm telling you guys, vice grips, they're awesome. I have a bunch of them. I don't know that I have the ones I want here. I probably kind of might, though. Definitely not in there. Okay, I suppose I'll make these work. And that's all right. Got to tighten her up a bit. Gosh, it would be better if I could come this way just a smidge, but man, that's a big gap. That's all right. That'll make it a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. Man, this side's like perfect too. All right. Okay, cool. That's clamped enough. So, and I got a spot that's cleanish that this thing ought to work on. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my air compressor on. I should have had that on already, but that's okay. It doesn't take long. Ooh, listen to that. That's better. She's an oldie. I'm going to crank it all the way up. Might turn the wire speed down just a smidge, but voltage is going to be all the way. Burn it. My welding pliers. Got the gas on. Got the old MIG welder fired up. We'll see if we can make some sparks. All right, that one's pretty good. Cool. That one's pretty good. Throw this over here. Don't mind me clearing out my bird nest here. It's like I'm back in tech school. You'll have that on some of these fun jobs. Hey, I got some cool wire to use later on something maybe. Let's get this fed in. Turn my gas off. Turn my wire speed up to like a gazillion so I don't have to wait too long. And watch for your bird nest. That's all clear. So a lot of times also you can take your tip off so it's not restricted at the end. Sometimes you'll have another bird nest happen when it gets to the tip. And by bird nest, I mean while your welder's operating. See, there we go. We're out. So clip it fairly long so you can feed it through your tip without causing an issue. And don't forget to turn the gas back on, because if you don't, it'll weld like absolute garbage. Turn that back down. All right. So what happened was I stuck the tip on this corner a couple different times. And I'm going to grab you and bring you in here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So on MIG welders, I don't know if, I'm sure a lot of people that are going to be watching this are familiar with what I'm talking about. But if you're not, each time I've tried to weld this corner, you can kind of see it's a little bit dirty. And that's probably what's causing me my issues. But see, there's that big gap that I kept talking about. That's not real pretty. I'm going to lay something in that, kind of fill it up. But this side took off pretty good, and I got it stuck fairly well, and it's going to be pretty nice. So now when I say bird nest, I'm talking about inside here where this wire is. So the mechanism that pushes the wire is right there. That roller pushes that wire through, and then that's what goes to your torch. So in cases where the tip sticks to, a corner, it'll push that wire and just nest it all up, like right on that roller right there. It just like wads up. And I've had that happen to me a couple times now on this mess. And I'm hoping, so now I got my gas turned back on. I'm hoping that I've alleviated that issue by putting some anti-spatter stuff on the tip. I'll get you set back up so you can see what we got going on. Take number 3, maybe? I don't remember. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, that sounds way more better. And it's tight. Good. Yeah, that's going to weld. All right. That's pretty hot. So I'll move over here. Nice. All right. I'm going to bring you in and kind of show you what we got going on here in a minute. I'm almost to that point. I need to move my ground clamp. I'm right where I need to weld. I should have just cleaned a spot off for it, but I didn't. I'm going to scrape on it maybe. Oh yeah, that might work. Okay. Perform Operation Human Shield here. Keep my boxes from catching on fire, I hope. You gotta be kidding me. I think I need to put some more of that stuff on the tip. It's going pretty good. Woohoo! I might have bird nested it again. If I did, I'll show you what I got. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I don't know why it did it. Turn my gas off. And I usually when I'm dealing with these, I like to unplug the welder. Just precaution. So I'm going to bring you in so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Maybe I have my wire speed up too much, but man, it's welding really nice. I'll show you that first and then I'll show you the bird nest. All right. So these are pretty decent welds. I'm not used to welding thick stuff. I weld sheet metal and it's, you know, a little bit harder. So I still got that gap. I'm going to try to just fill it up, I think. I don't know. I might end up putting something in it. So here we go. Pretty decent welds. I was able to fill that one up pretty decent. I still got a little bit more to go. So I was trying to get, you know, right down here, and that's when it bird nested on me. So a bird nest, see, there's that roller again. See how it's pushing the wire around? That shouldn't be out like that. So I'm gonna flip this down. See, it's pushed it into a circle there. So I got to cut that and pull that whole chunk of wire out of the liner. All right, bird nest is cleared. Try some more. I'm gonna maybe take my brush here and wipe off some of the smoke. And before I start, I'm gonna take the grinder and clean off a spot here. I'll have a much better ground on that bare metal instead of this old rust. All right, cool. Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna try to fill up this hole over here. And I'm gonna do it with a chunk of scrap maybe. Oh yeah, old chunk of tomato cage. That ought to fill it up. It's galvanized, so, you know, it's real good to breathe. That wire's going to melt so fast, though. I'm not really worried about it. Let's grab some pliers and hold it like that. That'll work. Maybe. Oh, yeah. That's pretty decent. I should bring you in here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to show you. I tacked this wire, and I'm going to burn the bottom of it off. So there's that wire. You can see it right here. It's just a piece of tomato cage that I'm filling that gap with. And I'll just kind of get in here with the gun so you can see. I'm going to hold the wire with these pliers, and I'm going to burn the bottom into it, and I'm going to just wiggle and burn it off. See, just like that. So I got that wire stuck. Now I'm going to put this one right there along it, tack it on. See that? She's tacked, and now that gap is going to be full. But first, I'll just burn the bottom of it off just like I did on the other one. That wasn't just like it, but it's pretty close. There it goes. So that's going to fill that gap up, and just check it out. And for a cheap old welding table, it's basically going to cost me almost nothing because I've just collected junk for so long. That's pretty good. All right, I'll fill this little spot. For a 110 machine, this really is doing a pretty good job. All right, man, this will actually look pretty decent. What do you think of that? I'm going to get you in a little closer. There we go. It's kind of ugly, but it's definitely not a hole anymore. I'd say that's pretty solid. This side's not terrible. I'm not done with it yet. The top's done, but I got a little bit more to do on the side. Try to get you in for that. See what I can do here. All right. Make this evening. And I'm going to pick back up cutting the legs apart and getting those kind of around. And man, we're going to have a pretty good time. This is going to make a pretty nice welding table, and I'm pretty excited about it. Thanks a lot for watching. It's been pretty fun trying to figure this out. And, you know, it's pretty interesting what you can build with just junk you got laying around. So stay tuned, and I'll keep on trying to come up with fun stuff. Maybe we can learn together. If you have comments for me, I'd really appreciate it. And even if they're negative, I mean, I'm just trying to have fun. And on this channel, I pumped out a whole bunch of AI junk from Sora that was pretty funny. And now I kind of want to just do this stuff. It'll be a lot more fun. I think it'll be a lot more fulfilling, and I'm looking forward to it. So thanks a lot, and we'll pick back up for part 2. It'll be the legs. I don't know how many parts there's going to be. There's probably going to be a few at least. So stay tuned and look for part 2. Thanks.